the first question I always start an interview with just a little bit of chit chat just to kind of put people at ease, to kind of figure out their tone and their energy, and so I can mirror that back to them. But kind of once that is out of the way, the first question I always ask is, take me back to the day when you first realized that you needed support with XYZ, whether it's social media, whether it's SEO, whether it's, buying a house. What was
your kitchen design when you're like, this peninsula is driving me crazy and these linoleum floors have got to go. Like, what?
6 years that you've owned your house, but what was it that made it change today, So by asking that specific question, take me back to the day when you first realized, right? It's kind of helping them set the scene in their mind and imagine, it takes them back and they can picture that moment. They can feel it, whether or not it's conscious or not, right? It's not just when did you decide you wanted help with your website? Take me back to that specific day. What was happening? And that what was happening question is open-ended enough that a lot of times they don't just go straight to it was this thing. It was them verbal processing and just talking through it for, 3 or 4 minutes even sometimes before they get to that moment. But what that allows me to do as a researcher, or if you're doing your own research, you're starting to understand that entire thought process, this whole series of thoughts and events and feelings and situations in life and business that led up to that moment when they're like, this is bad enough, this is urgent enough, this is whatever enough that I need to actually get support. Because when you know all of those thoughts and feelings that lead up to that moment of change, that's where you can really go in and start to create some really effective and powerful content that's going to meet people and drop those breadcrumbs along the way, so that when they reach out to, when they have that problem, you're the first person that comes to mind. You're the remodeler that they're going to recommend. You're the, strategist or coach that they're going to recommend, because you've been seeding that idea all along.
Yeah. Like I was telling you last summer, I saw a huge influx of people coming to me for SEO because the Facebook iOS updates were rolling out, and suddenly leads were getting more and more expensive. They were lower quality. Like all of those paid social all of the paid social algorithm shifts were happening. And people were like, well, if I'm going to spend money on traffic generation, I may as well have it be organic. And I noticed that and started kind of seeding that idea through my messaging, not in a, drop your Facebook ads, but just if Facebook ads are getting you down, here's an alternative, right? And it's starting to recognize those changes. My friend Kyla used to be a web designer, and she noticed that a lot of her clients were often going through major life changes when they would hire her, where it's like, oh, I need a new website because my business partner and I are splitting ways, and now I need to create a new website to set myself apart. Or I just went through a divorce and I need to change my name back. And as long as I'm making that shift, I want to rebrand. And then the rebrand to takes on a whole new, who am I now as a person who is now single after being in a relationship for so long. And there's always more behind the scenes of the decisions people are making than what we think about as just marketers,
Yeah, I think it's easy to oversimplify who we think our ideal client is and just kind of be guessing. Sometimes it's as simple as, well, my ideal client's in her 30s and she, does yoga and shops at Target and has a messy bun, right? Like that very generic picture.
That is all me. Yep. Yoga, Target, messy bun. If I'm not in recording mode, you nailed it. Minivan, right? All of it. Yeah, I fit the demographic. I am such a basic bitch.
Speaking to that in my marketing, that's not going to be enough for you to actually come and say, hey, Melissa, I need to hire you to do customer research for me. Right? Those are demographics. Those are external observable characteristics. What customer research really gets at is those things that are in the heart and in the mind. It's why people do what they do, which is known as psychographics. Mm-hmm. And I think, when you can really dig into those why questions, those psychographics, that's where I can come in and I can create content, or I can shape conversations around those things that I know people are thinking, but they may not even be saying yet. They may not even be conscious of it themselves that they're thinking it. It's just like this subconscious thing happening in their mind. I can create marketing conversations and content that speak to those things because I've done that research and I know it, and it's so much deeper than just, I love working with people that, have a minivan, go to Target, and wear a messy bun.
And love pumpkin spice lattes. Unless you're selling pumpkin spice lattes, at which point maybe we should talk about it.